Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another episode of Tool Tech Tuesday. If it's your first time visiting us, why don't you hit that subscribe button in your lower right hand corner and become part of the family. As you guys know, I've been struggling with welding for a while now. I use a sawhorse, and I have a thin piece of 3/16 and I screw it down and I use that for my welding table. Today that's about to change. I have recently picked up all my supplies. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know and saw that I picked everything up to get a fixture table made. So today we are going to take care of that welding issue and get that fixture table made. Alright, what I have here is something that I had cut at one of my local weld and fabrication shops. It's a place in Watkins, Ohio called Brown Industrial. I'll put a link in the description. If you guys want one of these, they will cut you one and ship you one. If you Google weld tables or certi-flat, or if you Google fixture tables, the first thing that's going to usually come up is weldtables.com, and they have the Pro certi-flats. They have a couple different styles. The most popular is the certi-flats, and they're made out of 3/16 material, and it's $305.99. and then another $153.99, or it's $305.99 for the top and everything you need to weld that table together. And then it's another $153.99 for your leg kit. I had Browns cut this for me. This is 3/8 material. They lasered it out. It's 2x4, and it was $144 for this top. And then for my steel that you see here, that I have this piece on there already, it was another $133 for the rest of my steel. So it was considerably cheaper. That's a total of, let's see, $305 and $153 through weld tables. That's $458 through weld tables. And I have $144 and $133, so that's $277 what I have invested in this thus far. I'm going to do a couple of different things with the legs, as far as to make it more portable in my shop. One thing I did have set up, my holes here, these are set up on 4-inch on center, and then I have a 2-inch reveal all the way around this outside edge. This is going to be the top of the table where we weld on, and then this is where everything's going to get welded to. The only reason I have it set up like this is because there's just a natural arc in the steel. So I set arc up, that way my center is touching right here, and then I have it clamped on the outsides to be able to start welding this piece on. Tabletop is 3/8 material, and then all of my other stuff, my outside frame is going to be 2x1/2 inch, and then my legs are 2x2 by 3/16. So all in all, it's going to be a pretty solid construction when I'm all done with it, but I'm going to set it up and build it just like one of the certi-flats, and starting, you know, in the center here where the metal was touching, and then going on the outside edges, and I have everything clamped together using some of my armor vice grips, and then also have some C-clamps out on the end to get everything square. You don't want to take a hammer and pound that top edge. The best thing to do is, if you need to move it, is take a crescent wrench and tighten it up so it's just on there, and then you can take that crescent wrench and rock it back and forth like that to make sure everything's nice and square from tabletop to side. Going back with me doing the 2-inch reveal all the way around the outside, it'll make it nice if I ever want to add to this table, if I get a bigger shop and I have more room. This tabletop can become a 4x4 instead of a 2x4 because of a 2-inch reveal all right around the outside edge. I'll have another one of these cut just like this, build the same exact thing, and then those center holes will also be 4 inches on center. So it was kind of a calculated mistake, if you will, but it was one of those things that worked out kind of in my favor accidentally. Not really thinking about it, it just worked out that way. Just kind of figured that out after looking at some things last night. I was kind of thinking, okay, if I want to add to this, then the center is going to be off, but no, it's not. The more I started thinking about it, it's still going to be 4 inches on center on my holes, and everything will be just fine. On some of their other tables, they'd have some that are 2 inches on center, and so that'll be one right here in the center, and then I could drill that out to a whatever a 1/2" bolt is, and then thread that if I do want to bolt something down to the table to whatever type of fabrication I'm doing. So right now I have this outside piece cut. I'm going to run one here in the center and on this outside edge, and then I'm also going to run some cross bracing this way, and then my legs will go up on these outside edges right here, and then I still will have this opening, this last hole, it'll just go down in a leg. So right now we're going to get busy and get this outside piece welded on there, get the other pieces cut, and then start getting things welded together. All right, I got my first piece tacked on there, staying a couple inches back away from that edge to have plenty of room for the leg to go on there. Tacked it in 4 places because I'm not certain where yet I'm going to put my cross bracing in this way. So right now I need to get another piece cut for here, and then one down the center, and then I'm going to put this one on first, next, and then put my ends on, because I don't want to have this end sticking out here clutter the edge. So I'll put all 4 sides on the table, and then I'll put that center brace in there. That way it's a nice clean look all the way around the edge, and then I'll just weld it up the sides. Alright, with both sides welded on, you can see I have this end piece cut here. I purposely left it just a little bit short, and you can see how that has pulled just a little, ever so slightly. This piece right here is not perfectly square anymore with the tabletop. So, and the reason it's doing that is because I'm making all my welds on the inside. Wherever your heat is at, it's going to pull that over that way. I should have, and I don't really want any welds on the outside, so that's why I'm doing it this way. I should have just taken a little bit more care in holding that piece square the way I wanted it to. It's not off hardly much at all. Once I get it all welded together, nobody will ever know it except for you and me. But anyway, like I said, when you weld that, that pulls that way because that's the way the heat's going. If I wanted to keep it that way, I should have welded one here, and then this one here that's welded, I should have welded it on the outside, and then that would have pulled that back that way. Anyway, going back, I'm doing my 2 end pieces here first before I do my center structure, and you can see I have beveled that just a little bit, and I purposely left that short just a little bit on each end to get good penetration between these 2 pieces of steel and my tabletop. Alrighty, tabletop is pretty much done. All I did was put that center bracing in for right now. To be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't figuring on doing that center bracing. I was just going to do my outside perimeter, and I was going to run them this way. But the more I got to thinking about it, since that had just a little bit of an arc in it, I went ahead and put this bracing in here. So I only purchased enough steel to have done what I've done. So right now it's going to be good. I mean, there's only 11 inches in between there, so it's going to be perfectly fine. And there isn't any arc in the piece of steel this way. I pulled it all out
with the 1/2-inch bar. So for right now, this is going to stay the way that it is. So the tabletop is pretty much done. As far as welding it up, this is pretty much all you need. I have those 4 going along the outside or the inside perimeter. I left room for my leg to come up right here, and then when I get my leg in there, I'll weld across here with the leg, and then I'll also weld up the sides and around here, so that it's going to hold the top and the leg and everything together. And then I really suck at vertical welding, so I'm going to, when I stand it up on edge to be able to do this part here, I'll go ahead and weld these sides also. This is my vertical welding here. You can see how I always end up with my puddle down there, and I'm just not very good at it, so I don't do it just because I'm not good at it. So alrighty, I got my 4 legs cut. I just have them sitting in there right now. I'll go ahead and I'll grab my square and I'll get it squared up with the table. You don't want to plumb them because you don't know if your floor or wherever, you can see how I have cracks in my garage floor. So if you plumb them, they're going to be plumb with wherever you have it sitting and not square with your table. So your best off to do, just grab a framing square or a speed square. You can use a 6-inch speed square or an 8-inch speed square, but it's not going to give you, it's going to be accurate, but it's not going to help you hold true like a framing square will. So if you have like a 10 or 12-inch speed square, that would be better to use. Just that little speed square right there was perfect for using on these edges. But I'm going to grab my framing square to square the legs with the tabletop. So I'll get these welded in there, and then we'll get to the cross bracing, and then pretty much this is going to be it. This is what I was talking about here. I'm going to find a nut that is the same outside dimensions as the inside dimensions of this 2-inch tubing, and that way I can weld that in there, and then I'll get a bolt that I can adjust up and down. That's what I was talking about just a little bit ago. Just gonna have to grind just a little bit of that because it's not a DOM tubing, it's just a welded seam, so it has a dirty inside versus a clean inside, so stuff won't slide in and out of it. So I don't have those today, so I'll have to go get that to make my legs another day. Alrighty, I'm just about done with the table. Little tip, hint, trick, whatever. If you're by yourself and you need to be able to hold a crossbar in like that, I put a ratchet strap on there and go from side to side, put tension on it, and then that'll put tension on this piece in the center and hold it in place. And also, if you have something rounded like that and you can't see, you can take your square, something flat, and lay on there and make sure you have the right height there. So right now I'm gonna get that welded in there and then flip the table over and we'll take a look at it. All right, everything is done. I am ready to get this long sleeve shirt off. It's like 86 degrees out today and it is very hot. But I didn't want to spatter all over my arms. So anytime I'm welding for a long period of time, I don't want to get flash burn, my face, my arms, my hands. So anytime I'm welding for a long period of time, I always put long sleeve on, put the proper PPE on, I guess you could say. I use a Miller Auto Dark helmet. Table turned out phenomenal. I am 100% satisfied with it. Probably next week we will do the feet. Before I said the legs. The legs are already on it, as you guys saw. And I think next week for Tool Tech we'll go ahead and bring this back. We'll do the legs and maybe we'll put some casters on it or something like that. The legs. Did it again. We'll put the feet on it. So we can adjust that. Right now it's sitting pretty good because I have a shim on this leg right over here. So like I said, my concrete floor is not perfect by any means. So if you put a nut inside of here and weld that nut in there, you can use the corresponding bolt and you can adjust that one side however you want to just by taking a wrench and turning it and taking that leg and moving it and taking out the imperfections in your concrete. Because if you've got this welded together correctly, then this is going to be perfect and it's going to be in your floor. Unless you have a brand new shop and you know your floor is perfect, unless you slope it for a drain. So there's all kinds of variations that you're going to want to take into consideration when you're doing your feet. I'm going to go ahead and do them on mine because of the concrete in my garage. It's not perfect by any means. Now, if I do another shop here or if I get someplace where this is at a permanent location, then
I can set them and forget them. So anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have. Everything that I cut tonight or today was with the Evolution cold saw. If you guys have not checked these out, I encourage you very much to check these cold saws out. In the description, there is a link for this on Amazon. They are available. And then also I'll put a link in for Evolution's website. They have a slew of woodworking and metalworking tools. So check out Evolution Tools. And also, if you guys are interested in this tabletop, Brown's Industrial will ship it to you. My top cost me $144. Now, if you guys are local enough that you can come pick it up, by all means, come pick it up. They're located in Botkins, Ohio. And I'll put a link in the description for Brown's Industrial, and also I'll put their phone number in there also as well. So guys, I think that's pretty much all I have. So if you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll talk to you guys later on.